Hey, good morning, guys, from Pacific Standard Time over here in the West Coast, Bay Area. Still fighting and struggling over here, but like I said, they always say, today's a new day, and going through a little bit of a trip right now, you guys, but everything's gonna work out. Everything is still within the plan. Having no love lost on my channel, hope not. Hope you guys still tuning in, and just wanted to offer my opinion, I guess, my 2 cents to throw into the Auston Hollman situation. I've heard about what happened to him slightly. I don't know all the details about a certain Afro brasileira in Brazil that kind of sort of was trolling him a little bit, I guess. I don't know if she was trolling him or she was just, and my thing is, I don't believe that he was trying to do it within the intent of trying to, as they say, objectify. And like I said, this objectification thing with women and men, because women objectify men. There could be a man who is built like Lee Haney, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, any of these guys, John Cena, any of these guys, and you will see that women will have, who are heterosexual, will have posters on the wall of these kinds of men. Okay? And my argument was that we do it just as women do it to us. But like I said, men are the bad guys. Men are the sexual deviants. That's what, it's always been in our society. And in this case of Auston Hollman, I take it that he's a youngster. I take it he's a very successful young Afro American black male. He's got his own business. I don't know what he does, but from the Facebook, and I don't follow a lot of these brothers. I do apologize. I just stay in my own zone. I stay to myself because I don't like to get caught up in drama anymore in the so-called passport bro or manosphere per se, because I in the past I've gotten my hopes up for a lot of these guys, and then come to find out they're just as worse as the person I would either work with at a job, or just a random person I would meet up with, thinking that they cool, getting to know them, and then they're, very disappointing. I think Charles Tyler had the blueprint. R.I.P. May you rest in peace. Charles Tyler had the blueprint, the fantastic blueprint that a lot of fellow men of color should have followed, but egos got in the way. Money rules this planet. It's, we need it. I get it. But at the same time, there has to be an endearing, somebody who can be very endearing and very helpful. And I've come from a family that has constantly put that in my brain. Family first, and taking care of others, people that are different, that don't know you are mentally jacked up. I mean, I'm seeing my mother going out here out of her way to try to help out a schizophrenic woman. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of brothers are suffering, a lot of fellow Afro men are suffering because we don't have a lot of great advocates in our place. And so when we get out here and we do these things, nobody is giving us the positive blueprint. There's not a lot of elder passport bros giving what better way to go when you travel vlog, when you go out of your way to another country. When I had first went to Rio De Janeiro for the 4 days I went, I was only there 5 days, barely. I stayed humble the whole time because you know what? I didn't go down there with confidence. You know why I didn't go down there with confidence? Because, yeah, I'm familiar, it's Brazil. I'm familiar with the country and how popular, the women and everything, but I was anticipating something in my heart. But when I touched down, that's not what resonated. When I got down there, I was like, this is a whole new world. I ain't never been here before. I didn't go in to be like, oh, I can't wait till I get to the beach and I can check this chick out. That was not on my mind. When I got off that plane at Galeo Airport and met up finally with Nabi, and thank you to Nabi to this day for helping me out to feel some kind of, not really at home, but there was somebody down there that could meet up with me and show me around the beautiful, city and country of Rio De Janeiro, that side of Brazil. And it was amazing. I wanted to stay. I have plans to go back. I don't know when. I'm currently going through some things yet again. But those are going to get worked out. I don't want to get into it. But the fact of the matter is, when I went down there and I did some filming, but I didn't film any women. I just filmed the scenery. That's what I did when I was down there. But a lot of these other fellow Afro American men of color that go down there and start filming the people, the Brasileiros, you can get away with it if you're Dennis Jean-Pierre, if you're Zoe Barber World TV. I don't know, but a lot of these guys, they're older. They have a little bit more game to maneuver around, and I don't want to say shout out to them because I had an issue with Dennis Jean-Pierre. He didn't really reach out to me like he should have, and I'm very disappointed in that. But I'm not gonna trip. I'm moving forward, and I'm gonna do my own thing when I go to Rio De Janeiro. My intention is to go there next time is to either probably live or do videos with my Brazilian wife on how we do things where she's from. That's what I want to happen someday. It may not even be Rio De Janeiro. It may be the popular now attraction, Balneário Camboriú, Santa Catarina, in Florianopolis. It might be that area I might move to. I don't know. Someday I will no longer be in the United States. I'm going to be moving abroad. I still have that in my mind. That's not just a dream. That's a goal that I'm going to try to work on. But back to this Auston Hollman situation. Auston Hollman, brother, you're going down there. I don't know if this is your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, the 20th. I don't know. Time being in Rio De Janeiro. But you got to be careful. Hollman, from an older guy that doesn't have much experience in traveling. But I could just say on a conscious level, you got to stay conscious. Because we're thinking as Afro American men that the Brasileiro people are our friends. You have to understand, you have to engage with the people. You have to go down there. Shout out to Reluctant Nabi. Because Nabi goes down there and he gets with the people. He starts forming relationships, and then he starts to build a camaraderie up. And then he starts not only building a camaraderie, but sincere, endearing relationships with the people in Rio De Janeiro, in Brazil, in the favelas, in Recife, Pernambuco, Brazil, other regions in Brazil. He's been to too. Dennis Jean-Pierre, Zoe, all those guys, they're on a level of slightly the PUA stuff in a way. Sometimes they may talk about other things, but I don't really engage with those guys anymore. From what I saw, Auston Hollman seems like he's very sincere, but he's young. And he's going down there and he's putting himself in situations where, like I said again, Afro American men, not everybody is our friend. And this is what I was trying to get with the whole thing about Mad Bus Driver pushing that agenda that all Caucasian white women are trying to get with African American men. That's not the case. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't see that because I'm here in my neck of the woods here in the Bay Area. A lot of Caucasian white women look at me, frown on me, look at me funny. I'm like, what's up? I don't know. There might be, a percentage out there that's digging on me, but it ain't a lot. But half of them don't even look all that anyway. And the baddest ones to me come from Ukraine and Russia. But, and they more down than anything. But I digress. That's just the way I see it. But back to Auston Hollman, the brother that I have in this thumbnail, I shout out to him because I have enough respect for him that he went down there, he put the camera on individuals, people, the women, the men, whatever. I couldn't even bring myself to do that the first 4 days I was there because I was so scared, because I didn't know what I was going to come up on. I didn't know if somebody was going to tell me, hey, cut the camera off, tell me something, in Portuguese. People were looking at me already. And then I went in November of 2020, which was a bad time because it was the latter part of the pandemic. And I got riddled by family members and co-friends here in the Bay Area for doing that because they were so hard up about this COVID-19 pandemic. And I had to basically swallow my pride. And, I had situations here where I could not stay. I had to come back. I had a job. I still have a job here. I still currently have a job, even in the circumstances that I'm in now. But like I said, these circumstances are not going to be forever. And to add, again, back to the situation at hand with this topic and with this case of Auston Hollman, I do back the brother up, but you got to be careful when you go down there. You can't be doing the PUA thing, the pickup artist stuff, because a lot of brasileira mulheres are not going to like that. They're going to look at you like, okay, who is this dude? They don't know you like that yet. And it's bad enough that society looks at African American men in a certain way already. Afro men, indigenous, whatever we're calling ourselves these days, or we got to call ourselves the indigenous man, whatever. Doesn't matter. Politically correct, we're black. And when we go down there, we have to have a certain decorum, a certain precedent that we're not like the Caucasian men. And I'm gonna tell you right now, somebody checking effect. He travels more too. Shout out to that brother. I like his channel. He's not on the PUA thing. Every now and then, he'll aim his camera at a bad breezy, fine breezy. She looking thick, looking good, whatever. But he says, oh dang, or like, man, she was looking, oh, he saw that, that's all he'll do. He ain't like Zoe Barber World sitting up there trying to pose up this image like it's so easy to get at these women because not all these women are going for us back there. I have to understand that. As they always tell me, not everybody gonna like you. Not everybody gonna find you attractive. I deal with that on a daily basis living here in the San Francisco Bay Area. But then somebody gonna say, oh, well, the Bay Area is this, Bay Area is that. There's sometimes I get some breezies that smile at a brother. But do I want to take on an American woman? I've already decided I'm not going to do that. I have to be content with that. And I'm learning how to be content with that. Because I'm going to admit, brothers, I'm lonely right now. I wish I had a woman holding me down right now. But I got my mama screaming in my ear. But my mother's still helping me out. So I can't front on that. Not helping me out financially, not in that way. But you get the point. She's been helping me out in a lot of situations that have been coming up in my life. Thank God it ain't. I ain't having no kid with no random ass female, who I know, good and well you can't have a female. If you can't be on a ship with a female and then you have a kid with this broad and then all of a sudden you got child support issues up the wazoo. I'm sorry, everybody can't be Nick Cannon. I'm glad a lot of brothers ain't doing the Nick Cannon stuff. There's a certain percentage of us out here who are living righteous lives who want a good relationship, however we see fit with that relationship. But we're looking for good relationship. Okay? We're looking for a community. But when you go out here and you act like you're no better than these other black men that go down there and do the PUA camera thing on these brasileira mulheres, these Colombiana, Las Mujeres or whatever, in these Latina or Latin, Portuguese, Brazilian, Spanish-speaking countries, they gonna look at you like, okay, who is this dude? Who is this fool? Okay, and remember, there's still colorism issues going on down there. And with this chick that Auston Hollman ran into, she put the APB out on him. She put the APB. Now, shout out to and I still follow you, Christopher Owens. He outed this chick. This chick is what you call a racial, you know, a race baiter. But deep down inside, she want to be with a Caucasian man. She's an Afro Brasileira that wants to be with a Caucasian man. She had some kind of photo on her Instagram showing that. I'm like, and you have to understand the social engineering that happened back in the days to our so-called fellow melanated woman of color. Because the Caucasian was so powerful that it's socially engineered to think at all of us wish we were white. Not in that sense, but they sunk that into our brains that we were less than human and all that. You know the whole story. And now we have all these race issues because what has society always told us? Being Caucasian is better. You know what I'm saying? And in these Afro Brasileiras down there, I guess they have that same issue as African American women do. Just like in the movie Precious. You know, but that's another topic altogether. You know, there's so many issues within the Afro-Negro community, and it's like everybody's up here ignoring a lot of stuff. But especially with us men, as Afro men, we have to carry ourselves with a better rapport when we're in these foreign Latin countries. We cannot go down there thinking everybody's our friend, because everybody's not. And then it's going to get stupid to the point where you don't know what might go down. Their laws may put you in a situation where, oh, well, you know, these negros are coming down here, you know, helping themselves out to our women, but not really staying with our women and doing all this player stuff and PUA stuff and sex tourism, even though that was put out as an issue, but it's not really an issue, I don't think. But at the same time, don't go down there thinking, it's not even the point. Don't go down to these foreign Latin countries thinking that a lot of these brasileiros and brasileiras are your amigos and amigas. They're not. Okay? You have to understand that you have to build up a positive rapport with these people. That's what I want to do when I get back down there. I want to do it the Nabi way. I want to do it how Nabi's doing it, because it's the only correct way. With that in mind, I'm gonna leave you. Auston Hollman, I understand what you were trying to do, brother, but be careful. Be careful from an elder. I'm a slightly more of an elder. I guess you're 25, 26. I don't know if you're a little older than that or younger than that, but from an older 40 plus year old, you know, early 40 plus year old man, I'll tell you, man, you have to move with. You really have to move diligently when you're in these areas. You can't be like everybody else or who are travel black brother vloggers. They've been doing it for a while. They know how to maneuver. They know how to get up out of certain situations, you know, to make them seem like they're not doing what they're doing. You know, I'm not saying be slick, but know the rules and the ins and the outs. I got to do the same thing when I go back. But I'm just saying, off of consciousness and off of logic and common sense, we cannot think that when we go to these countries, especially these foreign countries. Everybody ain't your friend. Who knows? You might get wrapped up in something, and then somebody has you do something, and then there you'll be with one of their people, and they're gonna pick you out there and say, okay, well, you did something, and now you're gonna go to one of their ill prisons. It's like, don't do that. All right. It's Rolando G, man. Be careful. SYSBM, I still get it, but be careful. I'm out. Till next video.